Okay, you two, we are back. We just finished up the 2 episodes, Firestorm and New Dimensions. Now, Josh has never really been exposed to Orville, but tonight he got 2 episodes under him now, besides just the pilot episode. So, what did you think, Josh?
I think those were pretty good episodes. I enjoyed that thoroughly. And I like the kind of parallels between Alara in 10 and Ed in 11, where Alara was doubting herself because Pain died, and then Ed doubted himself because what's her name?
Kelly?
Yeah, Kelly.
She gave her a good word.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's always hard when you're put into a position of authority and you think you sort of doubt yourself, but then you start trying to show people I can prove to you I'm being in charge and I'm not going to let you down. So yeah,
that would honestly be me if put in a position of authority. I would be like, am I really?
Why did you put me in position?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's one reason why.
The thing is, technically, when I'm getting my animation channel stuff set up, technically I will be in a position of authority because I'm gonna be the director of a group of people, animators and voice actors, and basically an employer.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good way to see it.
Yeah, it's hard to be in charge. It really is, because you don't want to come across too over demanding, but you don't want to be too lax either, to find the balance. I would say that much.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to find someone to make thumbnails for me for my YouTube videos.
I have to show you how to do that. I use them on Canva. That's how I do mine.
Cool.
So yeah, but I mean, these were good episodes. So we find out that Ed is scared of spiders, but in real life, Seth and Kelly are both scared of them. But yet Gordon or Scott actually loves them. So, oh boy. Boy.
A live spider on set.
Oh boy.
It's a weird thing about spiders. Like, I used to be terrified of them, but now I don't mind them as much.
Right.
But see, if there's one crawling on me, I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's me. That's me, John. I'm the exact same. Like, I used to absolutely, if I saw a spider anywhere near me, I would immediately go for a tissue and murder it. But but now it's like, it's a spider. Spiders kill insects that try to kill me. So.
See, for me, I'm scared to death of bees because I'm allergic to them. And people always want to swat them. And I say, don't swat the bee, because guess what? It's not going toward you. It's coming toward me. So I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
One time when I was in, I want to say like 5th or 6th grade, my mom had just dropped me off at school. A bee landed right here. And I literally, this was my exact reaction. Mom, there's a bee on my face. Mom, get the bee off my face, please. I don't want to move until the bee's gone. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I was in junior high when that happened.
Yeah, bees can be kind of bold.
Because I think I was in junior high, because I remember being in front of the gate that was out front of my junior high that I went to.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, I was screaming like that. So I normally don't scream and carry on, but this bee stung me on my thumb and my hand was swelling up. I said, I need a cigarette. Now, I don't smoke, guys. Please keep that in mind. I don't smoke. But the reason why I was needing the cigarette was to get the tobacco to suck out the poison, basically. That's why I was screaming, saying, give me a cigarette, give me a cigarette. They're like, why do you want a cigarette for? Because I'm looking around on the ground. But yeah, trying to get the poison out as soon as I could. Yeah,
I think the remedy for that is it's either vinegar or cabinet soda. There's one of the two.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yes, yeah. I've heard that.
I'm pretty sure it's vinegar for bee stings, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but if you're out, I've heard that. But yeah, I was out and about. They said, you can use the tobacco and it will suck out the poison. So yeah.
You know, I've been in situations where I'm out in some sort of field or something, minding my own business, and then you know, something lands on me, and I always automatically assume it's a fly. Right?
Oh, right.
You hear you hear the buzzing, you see it, or you feel it land on you, and so you just immediately react by trying to swat it away, swat it off of you, right?
Yep. That's the natural reaction to go.
And so this one landed on my head.
And
I did the hold on, I can show you a little bit. I did the this thing.
Right.
And when I got back here, I could feel this large fuzzy ball. And I've felt flies before.
That was no fly.
And flies don't feel large and fuzzy. And that's when I realized that I just fucked with a bee. And I immediately flicked it away. I didn't crush it. I flicked it away because I realized what it was. And then I was filming stuff. I grabbed my tripod and I just ran. And it started chasing me. And as I'm running down a hill, I feel it bump into the back of my head 3 times. Maybe trying to sting me, I couldn't tell, but I felt it as I'm running down, and then by the time I got to the bottom of the hill, it stopped. It gave up. It stopped chasing me. I ran all the way down to the bottom. But yeah, that was the strange. I didn't get stung. He didn't sting me. I guess I ran. I outran a bee or something. But
yeah.
It was the funniest thing because I wish I got it on film. I bet I look ridiculous when it happened.
You probably did.
I had my tripod with the camera still on, and I remember grabbing it as if it was my Wolverine, hand with the claws coming out, doing this with the legs over my head to trying to keep the bee from coming back at me. It was crazy. Anyways, one of these days, I hope somebody makes a movie of my life so they can recreate that one moment. It's awesome.
Yeah, that would be quite the story.
One of the reasons why I was so scared of spiders at a young age was, at a young age, I was down at my grand's and I poured myself a drink, and I took a wee drink, and then I was like, "There's something ruining that," so I put it down, and then I was like, "No, I mustn't know." Took another drink, and then I see all these legs coming out. I was like, "What the fuck? There's a spider in my drink." It wasn't just a spider. There was actual cobwebs and all that. I hadn't even looked, but they had made a cobwebs and a wee nest in it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I almost drunk a spider.
Not only a spider, but its nest.
And its nest?
No. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I was inside. I got a creepy call. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
A story I can tell about bugs, I can tell 2. So one is my grandma was sleeping one night, and she heard a thump on the side of her pillow.
Mm-hmm.
She looked over, and it was a wolf spider. She described it to be the size of 3 of her fingers put together, like this.
Oh my god!
No, not the Jack. You're muted again. She described it to be the size of her fist, actually, and I was like, God, I couldn't imagine how I would react if a wolf spider that big,
something the size of your fist, is
right next to my head,
right next to your. Oh God!
A wolf spider.
That's how you wake up, and that's how you wake up. Oh my God! I would be running out of my house naked.
I know, right? My grandpa though. She screamed, and my grandpa was like, "What the fuck, Kevin? Why are you screaming so loud?" Then he sat up and looked over, saw the wolf spider, and was like, Where's the bug spray?
That's almost as bad as one time the other night. I was trying to go to sleep. I said, I felt something crawl on my leg. I thought at first it was just the fan because I have a fan going in the bedroom. And so I said, okay, it's just a fan and everything like that. And I went like that to my leg. And I looked at my hand. It was one of these giant water bugs. I ran to the bathroom and grabbed it. I flushed it down the toilet. I was like, ew. And my mom said, what? What was it? I said, it was a water bug. It was crawling on me when I was trying to sleep. And another time, I had something. I felt something crawling in my ear. I was like, what is crawling in my ear? Because I felt something. And I was like, I thought at first it was my hair. No, it was a bed bug. It had crawled into my ear. Because I went, ew, ew. I was like,
yeah. And then another story I can tell, only about a few weeks ago, actually, is like I was laying in bed about to go to sleep. It was a lot longer than a few weeks ago. It was more like a couple of months ago. But I was about ready to go to sleep. And I felt like, like the tingling feeling, like the like you feel like something's flopping around on you.
Right.
I felt that kind of a feeling, and I took my blanket off of me, and I saw on my leg there was a bug about the size of a wasp flopping around on my leg, and I found out that it was its wings that I was the wasp's wings that I was feeling. And I was like, oh god, or whatever kind of bug it was. And then it started flying around my room. I was like, oh shit, it's still alive. Wait, did it sting me? And I ran downstairs. My adrenaline was so high that I was having like spots in my vision and stuff.
Right.
And my adrenaline just, and like that was not a healthy experience. And I was like, Haley, I think I might have just got stung by a wasp. And then she literally was frantic. She called our mom. And she was like, what are the what's the word? The symptoms of a bee sting or a wasp sting?
Right, yeah.
I was spotty vision, feeling like I was gonna fall over, all those kinds of things. And then I went for the fly swatter, went up to my room, stood there for about 30 minutes as the wasp like made like noises on the light on the ceiling.
Oh no.
And then when it finally came down, I was like, fuck this shit. It smacked right into the ground.
Yeah.
And then I smacked its body a few more times. Just
yeah.
You know, if that ever happens to me, salt shooter.
Yeah, we had something similar, only it wasn't with a bug. It was a bird. It flew into our bedroom because, like, oh no. When I was... We eventually got it out, though. We were like, oh no. How are we going to get...
I was living with my grandparents for a few... I lived with my grandparents for probably close to... no. Yeah, I lived with my grandparents for a few months before I moved out to South Dakota to live with my sister. And every single night, you know what I would hear on the wall just outside of my room?
Ooh.
What it was?
Flapping wings.
You know what it was?
What?
A goddamn woodpecker.
Oh no!
You know, I was gonna say, like, it reminded me of
a house.
I was gonna say it reminded me of a woodpecker, but
yeah, it was a woodpecker pecking at the side of the house.
Oh no!
Also, it was kind of annoying because I could never tell if it was the woodpecker pecking or the sound of the rose bush just outside of the window of the bedroom I was sleeping in. You know, tapping against the window.
you're probably thinking, what is that?
But then it started happening late in the afternoon, and I was like, okay, it's not that windy right now, so that's definitely the woodpecker. I went outside to try and scare it away.
Did you listen for a...
I went outside to try and scare the woodpecker away, and instead of scaring the woodpecker away, it scared me away when it suddenly jumped from the side of the house and started flying away. It legit. It when I saw it come down from the side of the roof area, the eaves. I saw it come down from the eaves and just flap its wings extremely fast, going off in one direction. And then I was like, oh, holy shit, that about gave me a heart attack. I'm not even exaggerating this. It gave me a heart attack. I fell backwards onto a bunch of fire ants.
I bet.
I fell backwards onto a hose covered in fire ants.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Oh, fire ants. Oh,
that'd be so painful. But yeah, these were some good episodes. But yeah. We went a little bit off topic, folks. But you know what? That's okay. That's
spiders, bugs.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of on topic with the whole phobias.
It is. I mean, but the clowns. Ooh, that was creepy. I mean,
Sending the clowns.
John made a joke while we were watching it. It chapter 3.
Clowns in space.
There we go.
It chapter 3. Clowns in space.
The Orville edition.
Could you imagine if they made an It movie that was in space?
Oh no, that would be really creepy. And he'd be in this space dock waiting to go there.
Well,
that just gave me an idea. That gave me an idea for my animations. Star Wars, but with clowns.
I've never read the book, the actual Stephen King book, but apparently there's a whole chapter about a giant space turtle and how and how it represents all the light, and then it is this big giant spider that represents the darkness, and the Earth and all the universe is on the turtle back, and it's like, I've heard of Far Out There, man, but that's way out there. I can see why that got cut from the movie.
That's one big turtle. If the entire universe is on its back, the infinite universe.
Yeah, there's a thing. Yeah.
Can you guys even see me anymore?
Yeah, we could see your leg and your face, I think, and a curtain.
Yeah, we've got Edward Cullen.
It's starting to become a silhouette.
It's getting kind of dark out now. I might turn on the lamp in a couple of minutes here.
No problem. But yeah.
That. Oh, actually, I just thought of a Star Wars character that could be replaced with a clown.
Oh?
Vader.
No.
Palpatine.
Oh, I could see him as a cousin. It with a balloon kind of thing. Says, "Come with me, children, to the dark side."
Replace Palpatine with
to the dark side.
Replace Palpatine with Pennywise. That laugh. That cackle. That Palpatine's cackle.
Oh yeah.
Pennywise's face.
Yes, definitely. So should we have gotten the alligator scene that was talking about board where he says that he crushed it with a chair? Do you guys think we should have gotten that scene?
I wish we had gotten that as a scene, because that would have been funny to watch.
I have a feeling that it was probably a money thing or a time thing where I
feel like the only reason they didn't,
or it was too much money.
I have the feeling the reason they didn't show that particular scene is because Alara wasn't there.
I don't know.
That whole episode was
actually that makes sense, because
that whole episode was pretty much centralized around Alara.
True, and it was her simulation, so
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I guess to figure out how they were going to do it too. But obviously, Bortus saw this alligator and he crushed it with a chair.
I feel like they could make that as like a one-off thing, just a scene of
That would
Boris
have been cool.
crushing an alligator with a
They should
chair.
have done that in the game, the Orville game.
Oh,
where you
yeah.
where you could have crushed the alligator with the chair. They should have put that in the game. You know what? I may message Kevin because I do know the project manager and say, hey, Kevin, this would be a really cool idea for you guys to put in the game. Have Bortus or your character crush this alligator that's on the ship.
With a chair.
What's
How big was, I wonder how small the alligator was if he was able to crush it with a chair.
Well, Bortus is pretty strong. He's not as strong as Alara, but he's pretty strong. So it could have been.
I'm sure he could just crush an alligator without a chair.
Yeah,
he could probably sit on its head.
Yeah,
or just grab and twist its neck.
Goodbye.
That put a lot of.
We will see you no longer. We will see you no longer, Gator.
I crushed an alligator with a chair. I still love the line. Ah, yes, humans, the hillbillies of the universe.
That was a good one.
It is.
One of the things I am kind of like I do kind of wish they would do is because Bortus he does one-liners very good.
He does.
So I would love to see maybe like one episode where like maybe he's watched a little too many movies or something like that. And he gets into they get into a physical fight, and before he finishes off an opponent, he gives off like a one-liner from a movie, like
I can see that. Say something like, "Great Scott, Clyden, it's just a movie."
It's like "Hasta la vista, baby." Like that would. Can you imagine bored? Hasta la vista, baby. Just knocking something out, something like that.
And then Ed gives him the side eye.
Or him about to be, or better yet, him about to be getting knocked out, and he says, "I'll be back."
That would be good. That would be.
I'll be back.
And he's got to do it like as serious as he does his other one-liners. You know what I mean? Like how he does his Bortus.
No,
he does his Bortus very straight. I love it.
He has to do it just stone-faced.
He does do it stone-faced. Everything he says,
he has to be totally stone-faced and doing the accent. Doing I forgot the guy's name. Schwarzenegger accent.
Yeah, because
if you know Schwarzenegger was actually, I think, the governor of California for a while.
I know this because I live in California, and I was here when he was governor.
And he was also a bodybuilder back from Austria back in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s, 80s, yeah. And what happened was his first movie was it was a bodybuilding movie, but he was featured in it because he was like, that year's Mr. Universe or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so because that was his first movie, suddenly like people were coming in with like ideas to like act in a movie. Mm-hmm. And so he came to the United States and he started acting in movies. At first, he was having a little bit of trouble because of his accent. If you look up Hercules in New York.
Yes. Yeah, his accent's really, really bad.
It was. So there's two versions of that that's currently out. There's the original theatrical version with the dubbed voice, and then a version with Arnold Schwarzenegger's original voiceovers. And it was very hard for him to.
Could you imagine if they actually got?
I am Hercules.
No, could you imagine if they actually grabbed Arnold Schwarzenegger to voice "I'll Be Back" for an Orville episode?
We have gotten Bruce Willis on there, so it would.
There is a story behind that actually that Arnold tells. When he was originally filming the first Terminator, the script says I'll be back. But because he was the reason why he got the job was because he had a conversation with Jim Cameron about how a Terminator would act and stuff like that, and he started saying I think he would act like this and like this and like that, and James was like, why don't you be the Terminator? And that's how this whole franchise started, basically. So, but then in the middle of filming, they switched it up a little bit, and they switched it up a little bit, and
my sister is yelling at me right now.
Okay.
That's why I was doing this.
Yeah. Okay. So they switched it up a bit because the original line was "I'll be back," and Schwarzenegger went to Cameron and he was like, "Hey, I think the line should be "I will be back." He had the idea, like how Data doesn't use contractions. He had that same idea. I will be back. He doesn't want to use the contraction.
Correct.
And so they had a little bit of a back and forth about that, and finally, like, James lost his temper a little bit. It was like, "Hey, I don't tell you how to act. You don't tell me how to write." And Arnold was like, "Okay." And then he used "I'll be back," and of course, that's what became the famous line. And
I'll be back.
He tells that story, and he was like, "Yeah, Jim Cameron was totally right."
Yep.
I agree. He was, that line worked so well, and I think if he used the contraction, or the lack of contraction, like Data, it wouldn't have worked so well.
No, it wouldn't have been iconic. Yeah,
it wouldn't have been as intimidating either.
Yes. Yeah. So
I would be back.
There's nothing more pansy than proper grammar. I mean, come on. Can you imagine a teacher going to say, "I will be back"? It's like, no, I'll be back.
And everybody she'd be booed in an instant as soon as she walked in there saying that, "I will be back." Ooh.
You know how cool Schwarzenegger is. So I've seen this video on YouTube. I'm sure some of you've seen it already as well. But from a few years ago, he went to Madame Tussauds, and they painted him up to as a Terminator, and he posed in Madame Tussauds. Right. And so he would sit still, and then like a crowd would come in, like a couple people, come to take pictures, like, "Oh, you look so real," and he'd be like, "It's because I am," and scare the crap out of them.
Gordon Ramsay did something like that. Similar. I remember Gordon Ramsay be saying something like that because he would reach out and grab them because people would be like, "Oh, it looks so real."
Sounds like something you would. That sounds like something you would find at like a Halloween. Actually, that reminds me of something that happened on Halloween a few years ago. So my siblings and I were going trick or treating, as we did. And we came up to this one house where there was this guy sitting there with the candy bowl, and he was wearing, I think, a bear costume. And I was the bravest
was
one.
his name Nicolas Cage by any chance?
No, I was the bravest one, and I was the first to go for a candy. And then the guy in the bear costume jumped up, and candy went flying everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I, being the little, however many years old kid I was back then, I was just like, no. I just went down on the ground and grabbed like as many handfuls of candy as I could.
Oh man, that's almost as bad when I was a little kid at this wax museum. It was an African American wax museum, and I'm looking around saying, "Okay, they look all lifelike and everything like that." And I didn't realize because the guard's back because he was in uniform, and I thought at first it was part of the exhibit. And so when he moved, I was like, like no, I jumped. I was like 6 years old. I was like,
and I gotta say, I'm gonna say, when it comes to wax museums, Madame Tussauds wax museums
oh yeah,
are the best in the
Uh-huh.
world. I've seen other wax museums.
And I mentioned
In Hollywood, I've gone to wax museums in Hollywood,
Mhm.
and they're nothing
hang
compared
on, guys.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright.
But yeah, they're nothing compared to Madame because of the realism that Madame
Right.
Tussauds puts in them. Whereas the other ones I went to, they look like, oh yeah, like that looks like Tom Hanks from
Right.
this movie or that movie, but like it also looks like he's been under that light for a little too long, and he's a little too shiny and a little too melty.
Oh no. I
Yeah,
hate when that happens. I hate when they start looking a little faded or a little chipped
yeah, yeah.
Like you guys need to do a little touch up.
But the Madame Tussauds ones, like I went to the one in DC and the one
Okay,
in LA, both of those, and the one in DC that has all of the presidents.
Right.
And so I have I'll show you one of these days, but I got some really silly selfies with all of the presidents, every single one.
Man.
So I told a Halloween story, and it reminded me of another one that gave me nightmares for several years afterwards.
Oh.
You know those things that are like crystal balls that people have as Halloween decorations and stuff? So we went.
He unplugged his mic.
I think you unplugged your mic.
Yeah, you unplugged your mic, Josh.
I remember I remember vividly this exact story, and vividly I remember writing about it in a journal that my second grade teacher was having us write. So what happened was we went up to this one house, and there was this thing inside the door that was like a head in a crystal ball, and it said, "You are too close. Step back a little bit." I remember that vividly in my memories, and that's a vivid, like, this was several years ago because I'm going into my junior year of high school right now.
Okay.
And
Right.
this was back when I was in second grade. And it's still vivid, the entire thing in my memory. And I was like,
Do you mind if I ask if have you ever been to Disneyland?
no, actually, I haven't.
Okay. So in Disneyland, there's a ride called the Haunted Mansion.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know about that, yeah.
Okay, and
Oh.
in that
In
ride,
that
they
movie.
have a woman's head inside of a crystal ball. It's a pretty good effect. Like back in the day, like they really had to sell it, so they did a pretty good job doing it. Nowadays, it's like they're using holograms or whatever. I don't know, but but yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
But yeah, when I went to that house, that terrified me as a kid, and it's still that situation that's still popping up in some of my dreams so many years later.
That's awesome. Like that's an awesome thing. The other thing from that ride that really tripped me out was there's a scene where you see an entire dining room
Oh, right.
and there are ghosts dancing among that dining room, and it's not like the way they look. I believe that they were ghosts because they were using the special visual effect, and like I had no idea about it at the time because I was a child.
Right.
But at the same time, you're a child. You see a special effect like that. You're trying to figure out how they do it. You don't know because you're not creative enough to figure it out. So suddenly you're like, oh, it must be real. That's what I did with. That's what I did with the Ninja Turtle movie from the 90s. I couldn't figure out that the way the mouths were moving on the heads were animatronics and stuff like that.
Right.
So my 7-year-old mind was like, those must be real turtles.
You know what? I was kind of actually like the opposite of that. Like I could think up things and like write things down that nobody would ever expect someone my age at the time, or even my age currently, to be thinking up and writing down. Like I said, I've written stories, like some of the backstories for my characters in my original characters includes like a character who's half Chiss and half human. You guys know what the Chiss are, right? Admiral Thrawn. But half Chiss, half human, and her dad was a human, a bounty hunter. A bounty hunter or an assassin, one of those things. And he was working for a lot of the Chiss royalty. And when he was in a meeting with the royalty and the aristocra, which is what they call the leader of the Chiss as a whole. So he was in that kind of a meeting, and he went up, he shot the aristocra right in front of his son.
Ooh. Right
in front of the aristocra's son. And goes home, tells his daughter, kill these people. So there's basically a mass genocide of the Chiss, except the aristocra's son was able to save the children and the teenagers, but there was no adult Chiss left. And then she goes back home, and her dad, the bounty hunter, kills himself right in front of her.
Oh no.
And then eventually later in the story, the aristocra's son, he takes the crown. He finds the girl who killed who committed the genocide. They ended up falling in love.
Wow.
But and then another story I have, it's kind of in depth. My OC Angel, I'm going to give a brief version, was beaten half to death by Savage, Maul's brother, and basically became like Maul's slave, killing people killing who he wanted when he wanted them dead. And she beat the crap out of her own father, murdered her own mother, and a couple of other Jedi Knights in a group of 20. And her father and 3 other knights ended up being the only survivors of that group of 22 people. And became the first 4 of Maul's personal guard as he built the Empire with, the entire galactic underworld. Not just the sissy, quote-unquote, crime empire that he runs in the Clone Wars canon, but a proper crime empire that's the entire galactic underworld. And also, Mandalore. But
there you go.
Yeah, so you should see what her dad looks like after he becomes part of Maul's personal guard. He's all scarred up, and he has a scar that goes from here down to here. From here down to here. And his face
somebody opened his face up once, right? Yeah.
His own daughter opened his face up.
Oh, wow.
With a lightsaber.
Ouch, yeah. By the way, I've noticed that your Twilight filter has changed.
Yeah, because I turned the lamp on.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, you wouldn't expect a 16-year-old to write that kind of stuff, would you?
No, I can believe it.
I wouldn't.
I've written some of the graphic stuff myself.
And I have another story where I'm not going to spoil much of it, but basically the older brother of one of my OCs killed, his family had just come back from grocery shopping, and he stayed because he was pissed off at their parents. And these are Twi'leks, by the way. So he, luckily for my OC, one of her friends was there and was like, let's go and play. And then They did that, and as they were doing that, the rest of her family walked into the door and got blown up by a bomb that her older brother had put there.
Wow.
And she later found her older brother only for him to die in her arms.
Oh.
So yeah,
Wow.
I've written some dark stories.
Yeah, I've written some dark stuff like that myself. So yeah, you wouldn't think I do, but I do. Trust me.
But would you honestly expect a 16-year-old to write stuff like that?
Yes, I
'Cause I've
would.
done it.
Especially if you're in a dark part of your life. Yes, I could see it. Really, I really could. People don't think, but trust me, I wrote some very dark stuff when I was in my depression period. About some very dark stuff. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it was very, very dark. But yeah,
I role play right on Twitter, and
right.
there's role play accounts that are like minors do not interact, and it's because they have violent storyline stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, my guy, read the backstory of my OC Angel. And you think you write violent stuff. You think you write violent stuff. She literally beat the shit out of her own father.
Yeah, exactly.
After getting the shit beaten out of her by Sith about twice her size.
Mm-hmm.
And age.
But yeah, these Orville episodes were really, really good tonight.
Yeah. Well, we got way off track.
But hey, that's all good. Yeah. It's all good. I mean,
yeah.
Because now you get to see what Orville is, because it's drama and comedy mixed together. And
dramedy. That was fun, though. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad my computer decided to piss its bed.
Yeah.
That was worded improperly, but if my computer didn't totally crap out and like decide Streamlabs didn't want to work, I wouldn't have been here tonight.
No problem. I mean, that's
also we've been here for almost 4 hours.
Yep. Oh wow! Hey, time flies when you're having fun.
Which is more than twice the length of both of those episodes combined.
But hey, that's all good. It's all good. I mean, that's one of the things we love to do. We all love talking about Orville. I mean, trust me.
Totally unrelated stuff.
Yeah, we do that too. We do that too.
Well, can I advertise myself?
You certainly can.
Yeah.
So I do live stuff. I live stream every day on my YouTube channel, which is Galactic Republic Gaming, right there. And every Saturday I'm going to be doing every Saturday. Okay, I live stream gaming 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every evening. And and starting this weekend, every Saturday I will be doing a watch party at twitch.tv/galacticrepublic_gaming. And with karaoke at the end. And this Saturday I'm going to be watching The Phantom Menace. So do join in if you want to. That's pretty much it.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you're more than welcome to come to any of the watch parties. Mm-hmm. That's why I love doing these. I mean, we're almost finished with season 1, folks. We are almost finished with season 1 of Orville. But yeah, Jack suggested maybe I do the Orville comics. I got to figure out how to do that. So,
Alicia, we already know you're unsure if you're going to be able to be there or not. But Jack or John, are either of you going to be able to be there for the Phantom Menace watch party?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, it depends on Saturdays. Like, things happen, so like I'm gonna try.
Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, the Orville series is very special. I mean, we get to see a lot of it in here. But I like the fact that Lamar is in charge of engineering. So we definitely needed somebody in charge after Chief Newton left. I mean,
True.
Chief Gel guy?
Well, no. Newton was the guy that basically was saying that he was going to be leaving and was telling Laura, hey, you need to help this guy, Payne.
Yeah.
Because he was in a lot of pain. I mean, there were so many side eyes at one another, like, how dare you? I mean, honestly, and then everybody's like side eyeing each other the whole episode practically. They're like, how dare you?
I do get why Lamar chose the easy way of life though, instead of
Yes,
Me too.
people. As the saying goes, if you act like an idiot, people will always underestimate you.
That's true.
No one ever expects an idiot to come out with quantum mechanics or
Exactly.
mathematics.
Exactly.
And if you're smart, they expect you to solve all the problems. And if you can't solve all the problems, suddenly, that messes with somebody who thinks they can solve all the problems. They can't solve one problem. That's gonna haunt them. That problem.
Yeah, that was the drawback, because that's one reason why I hated being in group projects, because I knew what to do. And they said, oh, well, Alicia can do it all. And then they would say, okay, sure. And then guess what? They say, nice job, group A. And I'm like, no, that was me.
Right.
That was me. Don't try to say it was a group project. It was moi. But no, I mean, I know what that's like.
I can't say the same thing. Usually I'm the one that didn't do anything and got all the credit instead of doing everything and getting no credit.
See, I hate that. See, that's the thing I try to do. I try to share the credit with people. You know, people come on, I'll say, hey, what are you doing on your channel? What are you doing in your neck of the woods? That's one reason why I do these kind of parties. And I always say, hey, what's coming up next for you in your world? Because Jack, I know, doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he does a lot of other stuff. John does other stuff like that. He doesn't do a lot on his channel yet, but he will eventually.
I've come to a total creative minds block. I just don't know what to do with my channel. I really
You'll
don't.
figure something out. You'll figure something out, John.
There's a few reasons why I don't have one.
If you want to do like a gaming collab type stream thing, John, I'd be open to.
Sure, I'd love to. I don't have a lot of games. I'm not much of a gamer myself. I'd probably be terrible. I'd be like, what button do I press? What button? How do I do this? I can't do the jump.
Like,
which way did I go? Where'd you go?
Hey, it's
no,
fine.
I'm dead again.
That's me when one of my friends first introduced me to Halo on his Xbox.
Halo.
Not friends, more like ex-friends, because I hate him now. Long story.
That happens.
Let me guess. You were playing co-op Halo and he kept on killing you. That pissed me off.
No, he treated my little sister like garbage.
Oh, you don't need people like that.
Yep, but yeah, we are almost finished with season 1, folks. We are almost finished with Orville season 1 with the rewatch. We will probably do season 2. We'll see. But yeah, we are almost finished. We got one more episode to go, and it's a Kelly one. So,
It's actually my favorite one of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a typical finale one. It really doesn't. It really won't feel like a typical finale.
Yeah. You know, there's that picture that Tom sent where the statue was in their office.
Yes.
I wish they brought it. I wish they brought that to the Orville experience when they did that in San Diego.
Yeah, they should have.
I hope they do it whenever next time there's a Comic-Con in San Diego. Definitely, I want them to come down and do that.
Yes, they need
oh my
to
God,
do that.
They need to come back to San Diego and do some sort of convention so I can meet up with all of them.
Yeah, we need some cons over this way.
I was supposed to meet Tom last year. Like we had planned to meet, and then you know what happened. So like, you know, we couldn't. So it's just been like pushed back another year. But it's just like I really want to meet Tom and, you know, like all the other people involved. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally relate to that. Yes.
Tom Constantino, who is the producer.
Basically, he's Seth's right-hand person. And he's our PR guy. He lets us know everything that's going on in the Orville world.
Like it tripped me out when he follows us on Twitter. So it tripped me out when he followed me.
And he's my friend on Facebook. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. So yes, nice. I have.
Like Tom's he's very like fan oriented, which I like.
He is, because at least 4 of them are my friend on Facebook. Tom Constantino, Eric Hayden, Kit Stolen, and I think it may be 3 or 4, but I know it's those 3 that I remember. So yes, they follow me. They know who I am. Jay Lee will say, "Oh, where is she?"
Actually, something
that's true. Jay
out.
Lee was looking for her as soon as he came on the stream that one time. That was impressive. Good job on that.
Something that tripped me out once was one time I was I was just chilling on Twitter and suddenly a YouTuber I'd been watching for years tags me in a post, then immediately follows me. And I was like, what?
That was Doomcock and Gary for me. When I actually like became like, first of all, I did meet Gary before he followed me. But like to meet him was cool, like after years of like watching his videos.
Right.
And then like shortly afterwards he followed me and then like started, you know, shouting me out on his live streams and, you know, like whenever I had news about Star Trek. It was
another
cool.
thing that tripped me up a few weeks ago. I was chilling like are any of you familiar with the YouTuber Gray Still Plays?
I think so.
Yes. Gray, he has a few channels, doesn't he?
So
I'm more into his other one, but yeah.
I watch his YouTube videos typically when I'm like eating dinner or something, and I need something to entertain me. So I tagged him in a post. I can't remember what it was about, but he liked it and quote tweeted it and said something about it, and I was like, what the fuck? I never in a million years would have expected Gray Still Plays to like and retweet a post I made. I'm gonna try and find it because I know you guys can keep talking while I'm looking for it.
But yeah, like I said, like Jack and John will both tell you, like, I'm the hugest Orville fan out there, and they know who I am. Every single one of them practically knows who I am. They know me by name. Because, like I said, I talk to them on Twitter. I talk to them on Instagram. Like, Jay Lee's always doing live streams. He's always doing these live streams where he plays piano, or he did one the other day where he was answering questions and stuff like that. Because I asked him a question and I said, "Hey, what's your favorite karaoke song?" And it was just like a random question. I was thinking, okay, maybe he's going to get ignored. He actually answers my question. He says, "Oh, it's da-da-da-da-da." Like, oh, thanks, Jay Lee. Or he was fiddling around trying to find his ink pen. I said, "Oh, is it in your pocket by any chance?" And he holds it up. He says, "No, I got it right here." So, yeah, they know who I am. They really do. I can assure you that one. That is not a fluke. When I say
I think they know who all of us are. Like, I'm pretty sure they kind of know who I am, you know, but, you know, they know, like, you. They definitely know JP. You know, they know PJ as well. You know, they know Philip because he was in there. He was in the background, you know.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. And if you, I have this connection with the Orville cast and crew that I don't have with other franchises, you know, and that's what makes it more, like, in a way, like, that's how it makes it more special than those other franchises.
Exactly. And it's not toxic. I mean, like, we can have a different opinion. Like, you can say, well, I didn't like the spider scene, and I can say, well, I I did like it, but that's okay. We don't make each other feel bad because we don't see eye to eye on that.
Right. And even if like I like this episode, I don't like that episode. Like we're not gonna fight over that.
No,
you know?
it's not gonna be a Twitter like saying Jack versus AVP kind of saying, okay, John's gonna be saying, hey, back it up your
Oh,
toe.
I found it. Can I screen share?
Yes, you can.
What it was?
Yes, you can.
That's
Share
not
that.
the right thing. Screen share screen,
Mm-hmm.
share audio because I need the audio for this.
Okay.
So I was like,
I'm the best.
okay, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I posted this at Graceville Plays out of context.
I'm the best. Man, first try and I get penetrated. Good for me. I'm
And then he replies, good for me.
Oh, there you go. Good for you. Good for you.
Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. That's funny.
If you know who Jay and Silent Bob are, Jason Mewes recently retweeted me. I've been buying these like action figures and just
yeah.
I put them in little situations and stuff like that, and I take pictures just every so often, just out of fun. And I had a picture of a J Mewes action figure selling to Marty McFly.
Hey, that's right.
A baby Yoda. And so Jason's
That's-
holding a baby Yoda in his hand. Marty McFly is holding money, like they're like, they pose like they're exchanging.
That's funny.
And I posted that and I sent it to Jay Mewes on Twitter, and he actually responded and said, "No, sir. If by creed, I would be its father until it was grown," or something like that. Like I thought it was pretty funny. He went by the Mandalorian creed. Like he would take care of it until it was grown, or it was brought back to its own family or whatever. He would be its father.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Did any speaking of the Mandalorian though? Did any of you three tear up like I did when the Luke scene?
So
I didn't
cried-
tear up, but
I cried at the Luke scene.
I cheered because I said when I saw that X-wing when it came into the hangar, I said, "That's Luke."
There's
And
actually
then-
a meme.
Same,
There's actually,
I didn't believe it at first. I was like, no, they're fucking with us.
there's
That's going to
actually
be
a,
another character.
there's
But I was
actually
thinking,
a
is that really
Bill.
Mark
Hang on.
Hamill? Is that really Mark Hamill? And then when I
There's
looked at the credits,
actually
my mom said, "That's Mark
a-
Hamill." I said, "What?"
there's actually a meme of Moff Gideon where it's like there's only one X-wing. There's only one X-wing. And there's the terrified Gideon face. Like there's only one X-wing, and it's the optimistic Gideon face. And then it's like there's only one X-wing.
Yep. That's how I knew it was Luke. And then when I saw the robotic cannons, I said, "That's Luke." That's
Yeah,
Luke.
no, I love this. If you go like through that scene, there is a very slow reveal of Luke Skywalker.
Yes. He walks
first
through
it's
that
the X-wing,
corridor. Yes.
And then it's a guy in a robe, and then that's when you're like Luke, and then
Also, there's
the
a
green
meme that's like,
lightsaber.
Right.
That's where it does. Yeah, that's
What?
where it was like, damn, with the robotic.
there's a meme that's like what we see, and it's Luke in the robe. What Luke sees, and it's just like this.
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's like you can't see much, but he knows the Force, so that's why.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What?
he's like that
Hold on.
blind guy from Rogue One. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Exactly.
One
Actually,
second, guys.
very much like that guy. Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Truth in way.
Yes. But I'll show you where I started my interactions with them in case Josh is curious where I started some of my interactions because I have a bunch of them on my Facebook. A bunch of them.
Oh, you document them. I know.
I do because Tom has told me don't document that.
Yeah, I've had like enough to where it was like if I feel like if I documented everything, it would have been too
Right.
much.
See, this is one where Kelly Hughes, she's one of the admirals. She liked one of my replies. I basically made the comment that she had said something.
What happened? What did I miss something?
Kelly Hughes, basically, she's basically when they had the Orville GalaxyCon last year. So Elihu, who is one of our friends in the community, screenshot this question I asked. And as you can see, Scott Grimes is in the picture, Jay Lee's in the picture, Peter Macon, Mark Jackson, and Kelly Hughes. Kelly Hughes on the far right. She's on the bottom. She's only female. And I asked a question, I said to them, and I didn't expect, because there was like, I forgot how many people were in the chat, but there was a lot of us anyway. And I said, okay, I'll ask this question. So I said, for all of you, were you already a science fiction prior to the Orville? If so, what was it? And they actually answered that question. They actually answered my question. Because like I said, there's lots of people in that chat. There's a lot of people in there. And mine is in there, and they asked my question. Because the one that's on the upper left, he actually was the moderator, and he goes in there and he says, okay, here's her question. And I was like, oh, I had to do a double take. So yeah, and then Scott told me happy birthday for my birthday that year too, which was kind of cool. Because he actually said, which was, I love it. Tom Constantino told me happy birthday, Seth's autograph photo, which I have in a frame now. I finally have a frame. See, here's when Scott Grimes tells me happy birthday.
Oh, how cool.
That's awesome.
They didn't give me nothing for my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I'm just being stupid. Stupid. Happy birthday to you.
How cool.
Happy birthday to you. I'm just being stupid.
Cool. See, he's humming along. You can hear him sing along.
You know, I was trying to get Scott to do one of to do a cameo for that Orville thing that I did.
Right.
And I think because of the way I asked the beer money question, I think he skipped my cameo. I got to learn how to like read these actors a little better so that they get my jokes.
Right.
Imagine getting a birthday wish from one of your favorite actors.
That is awesome.
Couldn't be me.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes. I mean,
Could
they'll
you-
like my comments and stuff like that. Like I said, Mark, there's at least 3 of them that liked it. Mark Jackson, Peter did the question where I posted about the question. Penny, she was interacting with me and a friend of mine. She interacted with us. A photo that Ellie, I won in a contest that says, I identify as a female Mocklin. I love that shirt a lot. Yeah, see right here, that's when I documented when Tom Constantino accepted my friend request on Facebook.
I do remember when he friended me, like I posted the screenshot at in one of my groups or whatever because I was excited about that. That was so cool. Like I never got any of that from other franchises.
Anywhere else, yeah. Here's one Brooke did. She asked she liked the reply I did, basically saying, hope you guys are staying safe, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, JP and General and Tom, because they retweeted a reply I said, basically. That's Tom on the far right. That's his avatar.
I like JP, but I think he distanced himself from me when I was very anti-Discovery.
Okay. JP and I get along well because I did answer ask him that question, asked about his beard and all that kind of stuff.
That was my question.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. How did you get? Because I didn't want to ask like a Discovery or an Orville question because he already answered all the Orville questions I wanted to know. So
yes.
I was just like, I wanted to like, give a shout out to show you like I was there,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like, what do I say? I'll give him a light question. How did you get that beautiful beard? I can't grow a beard like that, so that's why I asked.
Yep. But yeah, some of them.
What was his reply? It just happened.
He grew it and he conditioned and shampoo.
He took care. Yeah, he has conditioner and shampoo and like special hair grower or whatever. I don't know, but he takes care of his beard. Whereas I was just like hoping that it would just like grow into
You
like
just let yours
Santa
exist.
Claus or something all nice and smooth. But
You
no,
just
that's
let
not how it
yours
works.
exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eventually, this is going to go away. So I'm going to shave that off probably tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's when I added in what Eric was following me. Eric does follow me on Twitter. Yes, we talk all the time.
That's cool.
Yep, because he follows me on YouTube as well, so that's cool.
Man, I wish my favorite actor followed me.
That's my Orville hoodie that you guys saw me wearing. I had to. That's my first one because the zipper broke, so I had to get a replacement. But it's just the same thing, basically. I love that Orville hoodie. Yes, John Cesar. He interact a lot. John Cesar. Yep, he's always liking my posts all the time, practically. Yeah, Brooke, she likes my comments and stuff. I mean, like I said, I'll say stuff and yeah, Philip. That's the one we're talking about. Yep. Yeah, I did an interview with Eric. I got to interview Eric. That was really fun. That was a lot of fun. Because his bird was in the background. Saying hello. And he's like, my bird's saying hello to you. I'm like, oh, hello. Because I said, when do I get to interview your bird next? So it's kind of like a joke.
Oh, I'm sure the bird has got a bunch of secrets that he doesn't want to tell, so that's never happening.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I was a little bit frustrated. He gave me encouragement, said, hey, thank you so much for interviewing me. So I was like, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, Tom, because Tom and I talk and stuff. I'm not showing you guys the whole conversation, but basically he was telling me that it was great that you work the election polls, because I do work the election polls every 2 years. And that's what he gave me the compliment, saying, oh, that's amazing that you're doing that. I'm like, thank you. It's my 16th year doing it. So,
wow, 16 years.
Yep. I started in 2004. I was 19.
19 in 2004.
Yep.
See, when was I? I was 19 in 2001. That was when my
Okay.
No, that was 19 in 2002.
Okay. Yeah. I'm retweeting what Seth said, basically telling the poll worker, which I thought was really cool that he was thanking the poll workers. I thought that, thank you. That was so nice of him to say that.
He does a lot of posts where he's educating people, he's thanking people. You know, like he's really trying to get, certain messages out there and stuff like that. That I agree with, of course.
Yes, exactly. I don't agree with everything, but the stuff I do. So yes. Yeah.
No, I mean, like most of the stuff that he puts out there, I agree with. So I'm kind of like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, there's another John Cesar. Yep. Like I said, he interacts with me a lot, John Cesar.
I only interacted with Seth. I got to put that video out.
Yes,
where I interacted with him and asked for. I got to look for it and I got to put it out there. It's part of a like the video, like the way I edited it. It's it plays Down syndrome girl live.
Actually, Alicia.
That's what he was doing, and then at the very end of that, like, it's that interaction.
Alicia, can I share something real quick, just because I want John to see it? I shared it the other day. Let's see if I can find it. All right, screen share screen, share audio. So I mentioned I roleplay on Twitter, right? This is one of my roleplay accounts, and this is an edit. This is an edit I made for the account.
Live to fight another day, boys. Live to fight another day. Emmanuel can be sitting on the road live to fight another day, boy.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
It only took an hour to make, surprisingly.
Yeah,
That's
you thought it took you 10 minutes. You thought at first it took you 10 minutes, but I say no.
Yeah, but then I looked at the timestamps of the message. Oh, it was an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I did find the
Yeah, it takes time to
I
get
did
all the
find
bits
the
together.
I did
Oh,
find the
did
Seth
you?
video. Yeah.
No, you-
So I mean, like, if you want to share that one.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Let me, how do I do this again? Let's see.
You are in complete
Share.
darkness right now, Jack.
I know, like, yeah, it's just the brightness of the screen that's lighting me up now. Yeah, I should turn on a light.
Josh doing the
All
same.
All right, entire screen. I guess
It's only like 8 for you, isn't it? And it's summertime.
it's 8:22 on summer, but it's not very cold. It's kind of warm
No,
here.
I know, but it's like summertime, so doesn't it usually not get dark till like 10 in summer in Cali?
Well, it will later on in the month. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the sun goes down at 9 during the summers. So this is me.
It's not
like-
even 9 there yet, though.
The sun's starting to rise here.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is me. This is my goblet. I used to have this goblet. It was something I got from Spencer's. And it was like this gothic looking goblet, and I had for like 20 years, but that was my favorite goblet. But anyways, this was my Seth MacFarlane Comic Con part here.
Did you share audio? I don't hear anything.
Is it not sharing the audio?
No. I didn't hear.
Oh.
I didn't hear it.
I heard
I didn't-
Hold
something.
on. Let me see. How do I go back? Share
Mm-hmm.
share screen. Where's the audio part?
There's a little tick box at the bottom left corner.
Ah, there it is. Share audio. Okay. Let me try that again. All right.
Security won't let him in the gate. Security.
Can you
really
hear it?
Yep.
Yes.
Was that a War Machine costume?
Yeah.
That's Ron Perlman, isn't it?
Yep. Mythbusters.
Nice.
God, I haven't watched the Mythbusters.
That
in
guy,
ages.
I don't remember his name.
Okay. Wow, she's really out there with her outfit.
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
What's that you said about really
That's me.
out there?
Okay. Oh, there's Seth and David Goodman and Alex Bornstein. Yes. Ah, the Down syndrome girl. Written by the master himself.
He did it perfectly.
He must have a picture perfect memory in order to keep all that straight in his head, honestly.
Seth, you got any beer money? You got any beer money? Yeah. Look at how badly you're shaking. I know.
Oh, it was the security guy. It was the security guy scared, intimidated poor Jack.
I wanted
Yep.
He's laughing
All right.
so hard. He's laughing so hard. He's such a good sport.
Right, because he thought I was in my head, I think he thought I was nervous because I was around him, but Honestly, I was nervous because while
guy.
that was going on, I've said this before. While that was going on, the security guy off screen, like this guy like twice my size, was like yelling at me,
breathing down the back of your neck
to keep moving, and I was afraid he was about to grab me. That's why I was shaking.
Look at how badly you're shaking.
Yeah, that's why.
Like breathing down the back of your neck.
Like he was like right next to me. Like I'm surprised his yelling didn't over. Yeah, I'm surprised about that, but I'm glad it didn't happen because you can clearly see what hear what he said and see what. So that was my one interaction with Seth MacFarlane ever.
Nice.
Well, how did you come up with the name Jack Beers and Way Too Much Beer?
Okay, so the name. So we know that Jack Beers is a pseudonym.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I started using a pseudonym is because when I got very vocal about Star Trek Discovery, people started trying to get into my personal business. They started looking up my kids' names, stuff like that. So I set up a new Facebook without any of those ties, and just try to protect them and stuff like that. And I used the name Jack Beers. Now, if you look up Jack Beers, it's a real guy. It's based on a real guy. He lived. He was born around the 1920s or something like that, and he lived almost 100 years. And during that time, he had a lifetime and a half full of adventures. Like he was in the military. He was part of one of the wars. He was a bodybuilder. He was from the young age he was a bodybuilder, and he was able to make a name for himself before even joining the military from being a bodybuilder. When he came back from the military, he started breeding dogs. He started acting. He's got a few credits and roles and stuff like that. He started building. He started construction, and he helped to build like a majority of the large buildings in New York, including the Empire State Building. He had a hand helping to build that, and he bred dogs. He did a bunch of stuff in his life that, like, I would I kind of wish I had that ambition. I had that ambition earlier in my life where I wanted to do all this stuff, and it was just kind of like a reminder of that. So there's a documentary about this guy called Holes in My Shoes.
Okay.
If you look him up, and at the age of I think he was 90, in his late 90s, I got to say 95, 97, something like that. He was still able to rip a phone book in half, and he shows it.
Wow.
That I think that's how they start the movie. Is this 90-some-year-old man ripping a phone book? It takes him a little effort at first because he's a little older now, but he does it. It is fucking impressive. It's so impressive. Wow. Anyways, but that's my story of Jack Beers. Why I use that name, why I use a pseudonym, and how cool I think that guy is.
What about the at? Is that just? What about the at?
At Way Too Much Beer, I was already deciding. I had already decided to use that pseudonym. So when I used Way Too Much Beer, that was a play on that. And I realized that nobody was using it. Way Too Much Beer. That's a badass, in my opinion, that's a badass handle. Nobody has it. It's not like Way Too Much Beer 1997 889965. It's original. No numbers afterwards. I love that.
Maybe that's what Seth thought. He thought, Why are you asking for beer money? I think you've had one too many. Look, you've got the shakes.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, that was so. It was so funny because like when like right after he said it, I was like, okay, I got my reaction, and I shut my camera and I got as far away as that from that security guy as possible. Afterwards, I went back and I watched it again. I was like, oh man, he doesn't. He thinks that. No, come on. That's not why I'm shaking. It was fun. It was so funny.
Oh man. But
Although
yeah.
I wouldn't blame him for thinking that. That's why somebody wanted to. He's very iconic. I used to have a little bit of a beef with him because in his Family Guy skits, every so often he would kind of throw some shade at Kevin Smith for
right.
And stuff like that. But he that was a long time ago. And since then, he's like made Cosmos and he's made the Orville and yeah,
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith is a director.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Jay and Silent Bob?
Probably once or twice in the past.
Okay, well that's
my grandpa, I think, has made references to them.
Your grand. Okay.
Maybe not my grandpa, but someone.
Okay. But yeah. So he's a director. He got famous because he independently created Clerks, a movie called Clerks, and Clerks involved two characters called Jay and Silent Bob.
Mm-hmm.
From there on, like just about every movie he did for like the next like 10, 15 years, he added these characters, Jay and Silent Bob, to them. And then he even did his own Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know the new He-Man cartoon that's coming out?
No, I don't.
Damn, I was hoping you'd know that one. Okay, you'll have to look him up. He's famous because like he's got TV shows, he's got movies, he's got all sorts of stuff, but he's never been like mainstream famous.
I'm getting judged so hard right now, aren't I, Alicia?
No.
Your face right now.
No. I'm just thinking, oh boy, that's what happens when you have somebody a little bit younger than the rest of us. That's all.
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't blame people for not knowing who, because Kevin Smith was really famous in the 90s. That's where he got his breakout in the 1990s. Clerks came out in 1994. It was an independent film, and the Weinstein Company bought it, and they put it out in theaters because they thought they could make money on it, and they did. And so from then on, he made Mallrats, he made Chasing Amy, he made Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He branched out, tried to make some other stuff afterwards, Jersey Girl, Red State, Tusk. Then he was like, then he had a heart attack and he was like, you know what? I want to go back and make my old movies. So he made before his heart attack, he made Clerks 2. And then after his heart attack, he made Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Soon he will be filming Clerks 3. And that's basically it. My kid might be invited to the set of that.
That is
Interesting.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that.
You might have heard him as the guy who cried when he reacted to the Star Wars trilogy.
Yes, yes, exactly. When the Star Wars, the new trilogy came out, they invited him to the set of, The Force Awakens. He was able to visit the Millennium Falcon.
Who?
And Kevin Smith.
Okay.
He was able to visit the set where the Millennium Falcon was. and he got to like go through the Millennium Falcon and all that, and that brought him a lot of emotional attachment. He started crying, and he told the story about that. And in the story, he says he cried. Well, then The Force Awakens came out, and the movie turned out to not be good. But that didn't mean that like he didn't have that moment just touring the damn thing. You know what I mean? But so Kevin Smith gets made fun a lot for crying. He cries a lot, and especially after his heart attack, it's
really insensitive to make fun of people for crying.
Right, but people do. People make fun of him a lot for crying.
It's also hypocritical in some cases.
And like, I don't make fun of him for crying. I'll be honest, like, I cry like he cries a lot of times. Like, I'm going to be honest. I just told you my daughter might visit one of those sets. If I end up in that set, I'm probably going to end up crying. So sue me. You know what I mean? Like, I have been a Kevin Smith fan since 1999.
Yeah.
I've met Kevin Smith 4 times.
Something I will say is that that my brain just stopped working. Oh, I like how this turned from like I love how this turned from like the first 30 minutes being like a podcast, and then a watch party, to then a podcast.
I know. That's the thing. That's so crazy about these watch parties. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up, fellas. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
See y'all later. Hope to see you guys on my channel.
Yes.
See you on Saturday.
I'm gonna definitely try and make it.
Sounds good. Well, we will see you guys later, and we will keep you posted on the next time we do another watch party kind of thing. So you guys take care, and check out everybody that's on this panel, whether they're on Twitter or on YouTube. Check them out, fellas and ladies that are checking the rewatch. See you guys later. Good night.
Bye.
Peace.